Bots and Books fans? This is Scorp1701, and I am fresh back from the 2023 ATL Comic Con in Atlanta. And it was a lot of fun. Me and my buddy Watson went down there again this year, and we saw a whole bunch of stuff. Atlanta Comic Con was full of vendors selling comics and merchandise and all sorts of stuff, and I expected nothing less. But what I didn't expect, what I couldn't anticipate it all, was a 20-foot ant made out of stretch balloons with two hobbits riding him. This thing was huge. Again, everything on here made of stretch balloons. This was a masterpiece of balloon stretching, and he was a really cool vendor. He also did a cool little Wally balloon. Now this was awesome. I love this thing. One of the other patrons had it. I did intend to go back and get my very own Wally balloon. Unfortunately, I never had the time because the ATL Comic Con was so huge. It took forever to just walk around there and see the different shops and vendors. So no pun intended, it was a stretch to get to see everything. So they did have some awesome cars down on display. You had the DeLorean from the Back to the Future movies. This will appear to be the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2 because it does have Mr. Fusion there on the back. But, you know, the backdrop of the clock tower is still cool. So, who cares? Don't be nitpicky. And then they had the Jurassic Park Jeep there with the little DNA guy waving around and some raptors hanging out the back. So that's scary. And they had a Batmobile. Oh, this was such an awesome Batmobile. Michael Keaton Batmobile. Yes, it was cool. And you could pay $30 to jump inside and take a picture if you were so inclined. I just took a picture from the outside and just imagine myself sitting in there. Well, anyway, that was so cool. And like last time I went to a con, I took a lot of pictures of people in costume. So the first up was obviously the Batman. I saw this Batman cosplayer and he looked really cool. That's an awesome outfit. It is not your traditional, video game or comic book or something. That's very unique and I love it, but it does have all the essential elements of the Batman. Sticking with the Bat family, I found a Batgirl and she was very happy to pose for my picture. Her costume was very unique. I did love the gold boots and the gold trim, the belt, everything about this costume. Then I found a nice Catwoman and she was ready to scratch my eyeballs out or make me buy some of her wares. I don't know whichever one, but this was a great costume of the modern Catwoman. It had the little goggles at the top, and I thought she looked really good in the costume. So found a Robin, and he was with a Starfire, and one of the first Ravens I found at the Comic-Con. There was a lot of Ravens, but technically, I really loved this Robin costume. It was cool. It was kind of a combination of the Tim Drake Robin, but it really wasn't because, he didn't have the green on there. But more modern Tim Drake, I think. Not exactly from the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, but still, I thought it was an awesome costume. And again, the Starfire was good, and the Raven was awesome. A little ways down the pathway, I came across a Nightwing, a Red Hood, and another Starfire. And this was really cool. I liked the Nightwing. He had a nice, good look to him with the big shoulder pads and the screamer sticks. Hair was all flowy. I liked that. And the mask was good. The Red Hood, one of his looks that he had, it's a very simple but deadly design. And then obviously the Starfire there, I thought she did a really good job. She had nice bright orange hair. Love that. Her costume was obviously differently designed, and she was with another Raven, and I thought this was a really good Raven. Not that the other one wasn't. I think this one did the makeup really well. And you had basically the elements: the purple hair, the purple cloak, and the jewel belt around the waist. I like that. And then you get a better look at the Starfire costume in this particular picture. I thought that was really nice. But like I said, this was the year for Ravens. I did find 2 additional Ravens. There was a third black raven, and then there was a white raven. And I thought they did very good on these costumes. And as it turned out, this particular white raven was a friend of Queen Bravo. So I'm sure I've met her before at one point or another. And because she's done Comic Cons before, she's got the art of posing down. So she did a good pose of the white raven there. And I thought that was really, really nice. Later on, I found a Jon Stewart Green Lantern, and he was really good. Just basically a bodysuit. I liked that. I think I did see another one that had hair, but this is the one I actually got to pose for me, so he gets to be in the video. Moving on to Marvel characters, I found the nice Lady Thor, and she did a good job. Her costume was really nice. It had the broken Mjolnir there, which was all put together. Nice gauntlets, nice cape. I like the shirt part of her costume and the knee pads and the boots. So she did a good job with this costume. It was very nice. I found a Doctor Strange, and this guy looked really good. I saw him passing, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's Doctor Strange. There was really no question about it. If you see this guy walking around, he had the cape flipping and real fast, I had to chase him down and say, hey, could you please give me a picture? Please, please, please. So he was very kind, very generous to, let me take a picture of him. So I really loved this costume. I found a Dark Phoenix upstairs, and she was happy. She gave me some peace sign, and she did a really good job with her costume. But it causes me to wonder if she was actually looking for a group of other women, because I also found a group of X-ladies, and you have the Rogue, you have the Storm, the Mystique, and the Emma Frost, and they could use a Dark Phoenix. So I don't know if I found them before or after, or maybe I don't know if they were part of the same group, but it seems like they all five should have been part of the same group. If not, they could have met each other and just ran around together. That's how cool friendships start, I think. Also, running around the convention floor was the Spider-Man and Venom T-Rexes. They were hilarious. They would just run around and bump into things and fight each other, and it was so great. I love these things. They make you laugh. Wherever you saw them go, they were like creating a stir. So that was a fun experience being able to capture them. So for the Boys franchise, I found a Homelander and a Starlight, and I asked them to take their picture, and then there's like, oh wait, we got another. And then I really felt embarrassed because I had seen the other person who was with them, and I kind of thought they were someone else, but they introduced the other person as like, oh wait, you can't forget Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy popped up. Honestly thought when I saw him like out of the corner of my eye, I thought it was Link. Oh, I felt so embarrassed, and that's probably why he's not looking at me right now. He's like, what, you think I'm Link? It was so funny. But anyway, they were good enough to pose for me, and I thought this was a great Starlight, a great Homelander. Now that I know, that it's Soldier Boy, yes, that is a very good Soldier Boy costume. So I am so sorry. I thought you were Link. Found some Darth Lords down there. You have Vader and his grandkid Kylo. I thought that was a really nice duo there. Later on, I found the Kylo Ren again with a Darth Maul. So, yeah, really cool. You're never going to be at a loss for Jedi or Star Wars characters at conventions. I think we even had the 501st Legion, which is a Star Wars roleplay group that was at this convention. And you also have some Mandalorians running around, and I thought this guy's costume was really cool. I love that nice shiny helmet and his chest plates and his knee pads and the little rifle he's got. The gloves are really dead on, and yeah, this was a cool costume. I found a Rainbow Bright running around, and she was super cute. I told her I had to get a picture of her because Queen Bravo loves Rainbow Bright, and she just the cutest smile there, and costume was really great. Very, very good job with that. I saw this lady walking in, and me and my buddy Watson were trying to determine what her costume was. We thought it may have been Aerith from Final Fantasy, But as we continued to look at it, the hair wasn't right, and it seemed like it was more of a Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And then I started thinking, oh yeah, the Enchanted Christmas Belle. And that is who this nice lady was, and she was good enough to let me take a picture of her, the Enchanted Christmas Belle. And yeah, that was a very well done costume. Found some hobbits wandering around the convention floor, of course, because, you know, their kinfolk is attending, and I'm sure they got their pictures done. I think the gentleman did a really good job with his, and the two ladies, they were very cute and did a good job with their ears poking out and sticks. So these costumes were really well done. And I didn't get it, but they were also wearing fuzzy feet. One of the coolest costume couples around was this Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen, and they had this huge white dog with them. Now, it was supposed to be Snow, the dire wolf, but darn, it was really huge, even for the dog that it was, maybe a husky or something. I'm not sure about dogs, but I knew it was huge, and this was a great costume idea for this couple. I came across the King again. I met him back in Fandemic last year, and he was in his tan outfit. This time he was in his gray, and he was carrying the big gold wrestling belt, the World Heavyweight Championship Wrestling from the WCW that Ric Flair and Sting would always fight over. And you may remember a few years ago, I did a video about the big gold belt. But anyway, this was the King. He had the big gold, and he did have his friend who was running around in a raiding costume, and he also had a big belt. I think there were 3 of them. They come out this year and not only do costumes but have wrestling belts, so that was kind of neat. And I'm sad that I wasn't able to get the other 2, but this was near the end of the night, and I think everybody was heading out. Now, I saw this little dude all through the Comic Con all day, and I'd see him standing in lines, and I finally got a good look at him, and he kind of freaked me out. It's like, oh my gosh, what is this thing? But I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's a Zelda villain from the Ocarina of Time. Okay, fine. Watson told me it was a villain from the Zelda game. But yeah, this was an awesome costume. I liked just the color scheme and how he did that. So yeah. And now we get into the costumes that I thought were really cool, but I have no idea who they were. Mostly, I think they come from video games or anime. I'm not sure. So first off, we have this one. She has a nice fan that says Shade, nice purple witch outfit kind of thing. It was cute. It was intricate. I thought she did a real good job on it, even though I don't know what it is. If you do know, let me know in the comments, and I'll say, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I've never seen it before, though. And then you had this one, and I think this is an anime character. I'm not sure. She has these big ear things coming off of her head. Looks like a giant centipede, if you ask me, but again, I don't know. And she was traveling with this big grotesque guy with a big cannon, so I think, again, maybe one of those disaster end of world games. I'm not sure, but it was kind of gruesome, but he did a real good job on his costume. And they had this little fella with him, and he, whatever his costume is, which it may be connected to those other 2, but he won one of the costume awards for it. So yeah, he was very happy of that. He wanted to show that to me, and I thought, I'll take a picture and put you in my video. So that was really neat. But the coolest costume I think I saw down at ATL Comic Con this year had to be the Dragon Rider. This guy's costume was so cool. And basically what this appeared to be was a man riding on a dragon, because you can see him and you can see his little legs sticking out in front of his shield, and that is so neat. And you got the dragon's head there and its tail. It was so big I couldn't get the whole thing in the frame. But what it really is the dragon's legs are actually his legs, and he's just, walking around with it. So those are his legs, it's not dragon legs, and the little legs in front of the shield are fake legs. And what he would do is he could also control the head of the dragon using his reins, and he'd just pull the reins back and forth, and the dragon's head would move up, and mouth would open, and it was just a very awesome costume. So this guy, he wins the Bots and Books ATL Comic Con first prize award if I was ever giving one. But I'm not. I'm just saying stuff. So yeah, this was an awesome costume. And that leads us to celebrity visitations. Now, I do like to visit celebrities when I go to the Comic Cons, and there were a few down there this time I wanted to visit. One of the first celebrities I wanted to meet was Will Jordan. What's that you say? You've never heard of Will Jordan? Well, maybe you know him by his other moniker, the Critical Drinker, the infamous YouTube star. And this guy was hilarious. I don't know if you ever watched him, but if you've never seen The Critical Drinker, type it in, look it up, and he has some very spot-on opinions, in my opinion, of, how the movie industry has kind of tanked in the last couple years and why that may be. So I'm not going to say anything, and I don't want to get in trouble, but I have my opinions, and I would just say that his opinions and my opinions are pretty much in sync with how we think things are. But anyway, I tracked him down. I got a picture with him and got one of his little pictures, and he signed it for me. And he has a lot of cool catchphrases, like the one he signed my picture was, "Nah, it'll be fine." Pretty cool guy. We talked for a little, and then I wished him well, because I get nervous. Had I not have been as nervous as I was, I'd have said, "Well, that's all I've got for today. I'm going away now." That's another one of his catchphrases. So yeah, he was one of the big reasons I went down to Comic-Con this year. I also wanted to see Chris Sarandon. Now, a lot of people know him as Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I knew him from The Princess Bride, where he was Prince Humperdinck. And he was also in Fright Night and Child's Play. So he's been in a couple good movies that I've seen throughout my childhood, and it was very nice meeting him. Now, I did get a glossy 8x10 for him to sign. Did consider getting a picture, but he was being safe and he wanted to wear a mask, and we all had to wear masks when we were talking to him, which is how he wanted to do it, and I respect his position. So for that reason, a picture with the masks wouldn't be that great, so I just had him sign. So two of the big names that Watson and I wanted to go down there to see was Elijah Wood and Sean Astin of the Lord of the Rings fame. Some of my favorite Elijah Wood stuffs were North, Wilfred. He was in Sin City as that creepy little guy, and obviously Lord of the Rings as Frodo, so that was really neat. And obviously Sean Astin, I've been watching him most of my life too. He was Mikey in The Goonies. He was Samwise Gamgee. He was Mr. Bob in Stranger Things series. So Walton and I got together and we decided we would get a celebrity photo of both Elijah Wood and Sean Astin, and it was really great. Got to see both of them together and get a picture of it together, so that is good. The last celebrities on our list was Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, and William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence, the two legends of Cobra Kai and Karate Kid fame. And we got a picture taken with them, and they wanted us to look all fighty, and I think, we did a pretty good job. I think it was a nice picture. And on that way out, William Zabka was good enough to show me how he actually got his leg all the way up to do karate kicks in blue jeans. Because I asked him, how do you get your leg all the way up to do karate kicks in blue jeans? And dang, if he did not just whip it up there. I'm like, what? It was very, very fun. And that pretty much wrapped up our trip. It was a long day. I tell you, I did not sit down, and I walked over like 13,000 steps. I'm sure my Fitbit thought I was crazy. You've never done this many steps before. But anyway, the ATL Comic Con 2023 was a very good experience. If any of you watching and listening has gone to it, I hope you had a great time. I look forward to seeing everybody next year. So that's it, guys. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Had fun looking at the cool costume as much as I did. And until next time, keep playing.